Welcome back, viewer, to another Vacancy Reboot. Now, conveniently located in the far northwestern corner of the United States, at the southern tip of Puget Sound, is a quirky little city called Olympia, Washington. It happens to be the capital of Washington State, and thanks to its surroundings, is one of the most beautiful cities in America. Want to see for yourself? Well, that's why I bought a drone. Let the epic beauty shit commence. With scenic views of the Olympic Mountains, whose foothills meet in the salty waters of Puget Sound, it should come as no surprise that this area attracts people from far and wide, drawn to the siren song of Mother Nature in the Pacific Northwest.
I think a fallen angel just walked by. I think a fallen angel just walked by. I think a fallen angel just walked by. I think it's all angels just walk by.
But to really understand Olympia, Washington, you must first come to grips with the fact that this enclave for musicians, artists, and college students was founded on one thing: beer. Local German immigrants, the Schmidt family, opened their brewery in 1896, and since this is the capital of the state, they named it the Capital Brewing Company. They later changed the name to Olympia Beer, and for about 100 years or so, the beer flowed freely. The secret to their success, they say, was supposedly in the water.
This was pure and clean as it came out of the ground, and that greatly increased the adaptability of that water to brewing.
This artesian well delivers water from an underground aquifer filtered through limestone and free for all who care. But there's a different vibe down here.
The artesian well here used to be just like a broken off, craggly little pipe thing, and now it's weird. It's like they built a shrine of sorts around the water thing. This is also where the vagrants of Olympia like to hang out now. So no longer is it the little friendly neighborhood, get your water artesian well. Now I feel like I'm in the hood. All right, Olympia has a hood, and this is it. Watch yourself.
Olympia, it's the water and a lot more.
Olympia, Washington has long been a haven for artists, for musicians, for actors, creative people from all over the country travel to the beauty and the splendor of the state capital of Washington State, Olympia, Washington. Also the seat of county government. There's always been wonderful things, a great place to raise a family, and now this.
Yes, sir, Olympia officially has a homeless problem, and it's only getting worse. I'm finding people in Olympia stripped of their dignity, begging for money at seemingly every intersection. This girl just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna crash right here," which is maybe 200 feet from the entrance of a train tunnel. There's even semi-permanent housing structures built out of like scrap materials and crap under the freeway overpasses. Most people just lay where they fell, like soldiers on the battlefield. And the number one contributor? Yep, drugs. The usual suspects. Heroin and meth still seem to run the show. Which leads to petty crime? Which leads to real crime? Or worse?
Just when you thought you'd figured things out, we've added a host, and that's me, Jeff Kingsbury. Why? Because I've been to a lot of hotels. We've got sheets that haven't been washed since the motel opened in 1947. You're gonna love it, friends. Stay with us.
We're here with
Joseph.
And Joseph. Just tell me a little bit about your experience at the Holly Motel.
It was the worst experience I've had at a motel ever.
What would be your best word of advice to me?
Check in, stay gone until you have to check out. don't stay at the Holly Motel. Save your life.
Well, Joseph, anything else you want to add or say to the YouTube world out there? Any words of wisdom you want to leave us with?
No.
I'll come back to this cast of crazy characters in downtown Olympia, but for now I've got to make my way to the Holly Motel, and well, if you know where that bowling alley is there off Martin Way, you can't miss it. It's right across the street. You can tell a lot about our property based on its location, and perched on this busy street, this one ain't worth two shits. I decided to sneak around the back and take a look at this place from the other side, and it sort of reminded me of like a prisoner camp of sorts, although most prisoner camps that I know of don't have busted down fences. There's always a sense of nervousness coupled with excitement as I stare at the front doors of these dive motels, but hey, these videos won't make themselves. I head straight for the target-rich environment, otherwise known as the bathroom.
Bathroom doors are made to get smashed and bashed and patched. Bathroom door with patches? That's a sure sign you are in a dive motel.
And once you're in the bathroom, well, you don't have to look far to uncover all kinds of filth and pubes and refuse. What happened here? Were mice chewing on my toilet paper? I know this. I've got short, spiky hair, so what the fuck is this? That damn sure didn't come from my head. My proven formula involves running around the apartment doing a narrative of all the scummy, crappy shit like this. The security on the door is a little shabby. As you can see, this lock's not even there anymore. And this thing seems really loose. You know what I mean? Like, unbelievably loose. So, the janky door doesn't lock, the antique phone doesn't work. The carpet is torn and stained, and normal carpet life is never maintained. What looks like a dresser is really some kind of messer smeared with resin and goo and maybe some dog dew. Of course there's stains and shit on the chair seats, but what's really got me spooked is what's staining on my sheets.
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.
This weirdo loves the Holly Motel. Her name is
5.
Thanks for reminding me. Out of scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate the Holly Motel?
I would give the Holly Motel somewhere between 4 to 5.
Although Space Cadet gave it a 5, I think it's closer to a dive. This place wasn't perfect, but it wasn't a nightmare either. Of course, I found that everything seems better during the daytime. But as the sun sets on the cold streets of Olympia, Washington, things move in the night.
Oh, look. A fingernail.
But this leaves me with more questions than answers. Was the person climbing in or climbing out? I'm gonna have to investigate this scene a little closer during the daylight hours.
Which brings us to the window in the back. The mesh, across the front of it has obviously been ripped away. But I think I know who ripped it. Probably the owner of the pink fingernail right there. Lee Press-On Nails.
Oh my! That poor woman crawling out the window. Those Lee Press-Ons are expensive.
This place was head and shoulders above that dive in Aberdeen. So not too bad. You cut your rates in half, we might be able to stay here more often. Until then, just keep in mind, remember, where we're headed, there's always going to be a vacancy.
I'm over this room, but I noticed 5 had a buddy hanging out with her at that Peace and Love wall downtown. I think I'm going to go back and kick it with the crazies for a minute.
We're here with
Parnell.
I see you got your fishing. Well, or no, just explain what you're doing.
I'm fishing for nugs, hugs, or a sandwich.
Nugs, hugs, or sandwiches. And is it working out?
A little bit. Like, it was full.
For the record, marijuana is legal here.
What do you like about Olympia?
The people.
Good people here, aren't there?
Hell yeah.
Maybe it's that artesian water that makes Olympians so hospitable and also kind of weird. And although the struggles are real, Olympians are remarkably resilient, and they will find a way to land on their feet at the end of the day. The community comes together throughout the year at annual events like Lake Fair to celebrate what connects us, not what divides us. Shoulder to shoulder we stand, battling through adversity to emerge as one, full of life, laughter, and hope.
As long as you say this has been another Gregg Zart production.
Zart?
Zart with a T. Z-A-R-T. Gregg Zart. Z-A-R-T.
This has been another Gregg Zart production. Mighty motherfucking wicked clown love. Woo woo!
And here we go, another Gregg Zart production.
Yeah, now a bunch of one of those